Hello everybody, I wanted to chime in real quick and give my 3-minute take on Roblox. This stock was the first stock that I talked about since relaunching the channel, and I was buying a lot of shares in the early 30s at the time that the video was published, and they've just reported a blowout quarter, and now the shares are trading at around $50. Bookings growth was up 34% year on year, and this is the highest bookings growth by quite a wide margin that we've seen in a while. So well done to Roblox. And when asking about my 2 cents on the quarter, what I like about Roblox is we do get a lot of stats within their deck. So you can actually see for bookings by region, very, very little variance in where that's come from. So you know that there is not a statistical anomaly that's artificially sort of inflating the aggregated bookings number. Now, if you look at hours engaged, there is a little bit more variance, but if you have a look at the hours engaged, say for example, by region across the board and compare the current numbers for each of the geographies compared to the past, you can see that for all of them, apart from Europe, they're pretty much the highest they've been in recent levels. So well done to Roblox. It's clear that it's a trend across geographies, and that is also true by age. So over 13s growing faster. That's fantastic because Roblox are really, really building out that advertising platform at the moment. And of course, it's much easier to advertise to adults, and there's heavy restrictions on where you can make money from ad revenue when it comes to under 18s. So over 13s growing very nicely, but it's the same thing with under 13s. Still, that trend is the fastest they've grown in a while, up to 20.7 billion hours on the month. So well done to Roblox. So the biggest positive from this quarter for me is that this 34% bookings growth has not just come from an anomaly in terms of age or in terms of region. What we can see is that the payer conversion was pretty good. So that was in line with bookings growth, growing 34% to 19.1 million payers. And in fact, a lot of the new daily active users that they added, they have actually converted to paying. So you can see that payer community, the amount of new monthly unique payers is 3.7 million, which is a lot. And usually they add 2.5 to 3 million a quarter. Now they've added 3.7. So more people are paying within the community, and you've got a marginally higher average bookings per unique player. And you really want to see this number tick up. Now, when I opened the earnings results, I thought, oh, have they broken out advertising yet? Because they said some really interesting things about advertising in the quarter. Firstly, they're really working on developers bidding for games to come up at the top. So this is one form of advertising they're really working on. But further to that, all of the in-experience advertising that I was talking a lot about when I released that video 6 months ago, they're massively expanding on that. Most notably, they've got a partnership now with Shopify where people can link their store to buy physical items into the virtual world and accelerating many more brand deals. So we know that advertising revenue is there. I can tell from payer community that it's not that meaningful yet because this grew 34% and so did overall bookings. So I can tell that the advertising is not a meaningful part of revenue yet, but it is really, really good to see that they are also growing this payer community very, very fast. Because why? Well, developers are incentivized, right? So the more people on Roblox that are paying for Roblox, the more that developers are willing to make games, because the more willing the consumers are willing to pay on the platform for games and spend Robux, the more that developers will work on these games. And then what you've got is you've got more content and you've got competition between content for these Robux or for these dollars that then converted into Robux. And then that drives up the quality of the games. The more consumers are willing to pay on the platform, and that creates a spiraling network effect. So very, very well done to Roblox. I think what's happened here is obviously they had a very, very good quarter on the free cash flow line, generating over $200 million in quarterly free cash flow. And I think what's happened here is that when Roblox went public, they went through a very, very heavy capex cycle, and the market was worried that they were highly unprofitable and burning through loads and loads of money. If you look at Roblox's balance sheet, it's actually very, very healthy. And now that they've proven that they can generate over 200 million in free cash flow a quarter, and it's actually nearly 900 million if you annualize that. You know, on a $33 billion market cap company, it all of a sudden doesn't look particularly expensive, and they're showing that now that they are out of this capex cycle, this huge spend. You know, Roblox have worked hugely, partially with their IPO money, because they raised a lot of money at IPO, to build out data centers, to really work on the whole vertical of the game, the infrastructure, as I mentioned, the trust and the safety, and now they're really seeing a good ROI. So it looks like the increase in DAUs and also bookings has very much been from the core of their platform. But we've also got this really lovely catalyst coming through about advertising, which hopefully they should be breaking out in the next few quarters when it starts to generate meaningful revenue. One analyst on the call asked what is holding them back from projecting faster long-term growth. Obviously, their guidance for Q4 was between 19 and 21% bookings growth. Have they had just done 34%? And basically the CFO said, we do need consistent time because we want to be conservative on our guidance. And actually, I can hold them true to that, because in Q1, they had some small issues and they pulled their guidance for Q2 down. And then in Q2, they did really well and then massively put their guidance up. So we can actually hold Roblox to that, is that they are often very conservative on their guidance. So it might be that we see really sustained growth. You know, Roblox are targeting 20% plus, so low 20s in terms of long-term bookings growth up until 2027. But if we see a very good quarter next quarter, then we've confirmed that Roblox have done something for this trend to continue. You know, for now, it's just kind of like an anomaly quarter, and they often do quite well in Q3 anyway, because it's the summer holidays and, you know, you've got children that are engaged more on the platform. So it really, really helps with their under 13 segment specifically. So here's the question. Am I buying? Am I selling? Am I holding? What you can see here from the share price is interesting. So I was buying in this period back in May, or I should say I was accumulating more shares, because Roblox has traded in this range a lot. So I've been a long-term shareholder for 2 years, but often what happens is you see this resistance line up around $45 to $47 a share. It often hits that and then goes back, and it's happened a lot of the time when they had really, really good results. For example, their Q4 of 2023 was very good, and they hit this $46 resistance line and then came back down subsequently over the following months. And then they hit this low after their Q1 results were pretty light. Now they've broken through that for the first time, which is quite interesting. And the question then becomes, are we going to see a bit of love from the market into Roblox? So I think also I will see how the momentum is within the stock after this blowout earnings, because what's also interesting is that the NASDAQ was down over 2% today and Roblox was up 20. So the market really, really liked it. For Roblox to be up 20 on a day where the NASDAQ and the S&P have had some of their worst days in the past couple of years in this great bull run that we've had, that is quite significant. So I did accumulate a lot of shares in the low 30s where I think the shares are a massive steal. Now, I wouldn't say they are egregiously expensive, but I wouldn't say that it is purely a value play. You know, this is a play if you believe in the long-term growth of the company and if you believe that they can generate a new meaningful revenue stream out of advertising, perfect. So I'm going to see what how the momentum looks, and I will most likely trim my position. And for now, my original thesis, which you can watch on my YouTube channel, is reaffirmed, and my goal is to keep Roblox as a long-term holding. Thank you for watching.